You alright?
Yeah.
We all good?
Yeah.
We can do in the morning if you want.
I'm not here.
Why?
So I've got to go to my hospital.
Where's AJ's presser?
Somewhere, can't remember. Somewhere in South, I don't know. South, somewhere. I'm not familiar with London, so I don't know. So sorry, I'm going to have to go back. We was talking about Lawrence Okolies, we was talking about March the 25th, and we was talking about Carice Artinshaw, which I'm glad she's back out actually, because I was thinking, what's happened to these Olympians?
Look, Lauren and Carice, they got out twice last year. We both had a couple of niggles. Took a long time for them to sign, but they're going to go very, very far. Obviously, Lauren Price is a superstar in the making, if not a superstar already with what she's achieved. And Carice Artinshaw is going to come to the pro game like nothing before. I think what's good with Carice is she's watching the fighters now in her division performing and thinking, I am levels above this, which is great. And she's a character, and she'll get out in March, and we've got something else for Lauren in March as well.
Nice one. Boxer was allegedly supposed to get the schedules out. I remember speaking to you guys about this in December. It's good for the fight fans, for the boxing fans to know, okay, what matches are when I need to book hotels, holidays from work, etc. Schedules.
So difficult because, look, Taylor Cattrall,
Yeah.
fallout. People don't see that. Then that has an effect on Lawrence Okolies. That has an effect on Jack Cattrall. That has a knock-on effect on Tasha Jonas. We then have is the Shields Marshall rematch happening?
Is it?
No, but those are the questions. Then you have, is Eubank going to opt for his rematch, which would be May. You've got April, where we are making sure that we don't clash with Joyce or with the unification. So it's frustrating, like, because you have it all planned out. A couple of injuries and a couple of pullouts and a couple of problems, you move, and that's why I think every promoter struggles sometimes, with a schedule, because they are based around fighters' activities and fighters' things. And I would love nothing more than a schedule and make our lives so much fucking easier as well, instead of fucking always having to duck and dive and find a different option and find a different arena. It's a nightmare. It will get better. It will get easier. A lot of fighters are jumping this promoter, that promoter, changing around this and that, which again makes it difficult, because you wait. Some signings, you're like, are they going to happen? Are they not going to happen? If they happen, then what are we going to do? If they don't happen, then what else are we going to do? You have to have about plan B, plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D in boxing. And so, look, the fans don't want to hear that. They want to have schedules, but sometimes that is what it is, and you've got to wait. And sometimes schedules can hurt you. I mean, I saw a lot being made around Taylor Serrano 2 not being at Croke Park, but because they're forced on the schedule, then suddenly you don't get that opportunity. And we want to make sure that our fights happen when they're supposed to happen, at the right time for both fighters, in the biggest occasion. And sometimes, therefore, marrying everything together is difficult. Less pressure on us to do schedules because we're on Sky, and there's so many sports, and we can go whenever. We're going to get big audiences, and we don't need people just to subscribe for boxing and things like that, and that's a benefit. So I think we just want to make sure when our fight nights do happen, they're promoted in good time, and they're the best they possibly can be. And yes, so far so good, and we started the year very strongly, and hopefully the March and April and May will become clear very quickly.
You're a promoter that's sort of like always, you came into the game, I was going to say bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, signed with Sky Sports, and a promoter that was never really, you was like, keep me out of that. I don't really want to know anything about what they're doing. We're concentrating what we're doing. We're building BoxRec with Sky Sports. But then I saw a tweet on Twitter the other day, and I don't know if it's some of the interviews that you're doing, but somebody was saying he's starting to now sound like the other promoters, where they're starting to like bicker at each other. Now, I know this is something that you didn't stand for in the beginning. So I'm going to say to you, from like my point of view as a conversationalist, I never like to refer to myself as an interviewer, because you're not going for a job. We're having a conversation about boxing. Do you feel that you get drawn into stuff sometimes? Because I know you can be specific on what channels you speak to. I've seen you turn people away.
I think there's all interviewers want is a lot of them is, and I don't blame them. They're doing their job. They need to create numbers. Is a headline. So you can do a 30-minute interview, and if you say one thing that it can be blown up or can be blown into a headline, then that will be made into a headline. Obviously, I'm doing a lot more interviews now, and therefore there's a lot more clips, and there's a lot more this and a lot more that. I think we do try and stay out of it, but we'll also try and speak honestly. So if there's things that we feel passionately about, whether it's regulations, whether it's judging, whether it's certain topics, then of course, if we feel like, if it's our opinion, you won't see us criticize other people's shows, you won't see us criticize other promoters and their schedules, and you'll never see us criticize fighters. But when we feel that there's opinion that needs to be had on certain topics, then we will. You'll notice that's the way it is. We don't criticize fighters, and we don't criticize fights, and we don't criticize because we're boxing fans, and there's certain fights that I'm looking forward to with other promoters, and that's it. We will, as I say, we do try and get on with everyone, but when you're doing that many interviews and there's one line, it is, that happens.
Yeah, it makes sense, and I get it. You're going to go through trials and tribulations with your fighters. You're still in the early stages of that merging with boxer. You're no stranger to boxing. I know you've been in boxing for years, but there are certain fighters that may let you down, that may cross a line that they shouldn't do, or things like you said, leak out, that red herring. Are you prepared for when those kind of challenges come your way, Ben? Because it happens in industry.
I think it happens to everyone in boxing, whether you're a journalist, whether you're a fighter, whether you're a promoter, whether you're a manager. This is the Wild West. You never know what tomorrow may bring. I'm very, very grateful for just being in this position. I've said it so many times. It's a great position. I love being in boxing and working in boxing, but ultimately it comes with it comes with all sorts of different things that you have to consider, and as you say, anything can happen at any moment. But it's boxing. Like, as I say, it was a lot harder when I didn't have a broadcast deal and I didn't have the fighters, and I didn't have. That's where you have real grit. I got my license, I had nothing, and now I have something. So I'm in a good position. I'm happy.
I get it, and it's like you said, you kind of like taking it, you're going with the flow. But like you said, anything can turn on its head, and it's just about having that experience to say, look at another promoter and think, bloody hell, I wonder what it's like to be in their position. You like certain fighters. There will be fighters that you will grow to be like, they'll be like your favourites, for a better word, and they might let you down, and then the camera's like in your face and you're getting grilled, and it's always your fault. And then how are you going to deal with that? Because like you said, that pressure is there. Look at what happened the other day. You've suffered like two kind of like leaks. The one that came from another boxing channel, where I don't know what the hell happened with that. And then the other day with a phone call, you've been at the brunt of like people like, I don't know, one for a better word, snaking you.
Yeah, but that's just experience as well. Like, yeah. I'm a trusting person.
You can't be.
You can't be. I'm a quite off camera. I wear my heart on the sleeve. I talk to everyone, and sometimes, yeah, that is what it is. But it is boxing, and nothing surprises me anymore.
Okay.
And you just have to get on with it. And as you say, I think in boxing it's difficult when you're a new promoter and you're coming in, and especially if you're starting it becomes more, the more success we're having, the more fighters that are signing with us, the more shows that we're putting on, it's going to come with more scrutiny, it's going to come with more people wanting to drag us down, it's going to come with more problems, and that's something we're ready for. Like, our vision is so strong. We're not going to be deterred from certain things. We don't want to be. We want the best for the sport. We would like to work with other promoters, but we know ultimately we're coming into a very competitive market. We've had to do it since day one. No one wants other competitors don't necessarily like how well we're doing, and therefore certain things happen. But yeah, it's all experience, and yeah, as I say, it's hard. I'm so grateful to be in my position. For me to complain about the negative things that come with it would be very, very short-sighted. A lot of people would dream to be in my position. Yeah.
But being in those fortunate positions, like you say, with great, responsibility, you're going to get the other stuff that comes with it. Learning lessons then for yourself. I think we're going into what, year 2 now? What would you say the biggest lesson has been for you as a boxing promoter so far, except for trust no one?
The biggest learning since I became a promoter.
These last 2 years, though, when you sign up with Sky.
How hard promoters have to work. How hard promoters have to work, and especially like Frank and Eddie and the guys putting on shows all the time. And they've been doing it for so many years. Whatever criticism they might get and whatever you might think of them and whatever I might think of them, they work hard. And you've got to work hard, and there's not many people that can do it. And and it's good because it's proper competition. And when it's healthy, it's great, and it's great for the sport. And when people are sensible and work together, it's great for the sport. I think, yeah, how hard those guys work is apparent, and I have a lot of respect for that.
So when there's a young Ben Shalom that comes through in 15 years' time, I don't know, say he's with another promotional company that pops up, and he's like really working hard, and he's sniffing around, and he's thinking, what fighters can I have? What are you going to do when you're kind of like the granddad, you're the one with the experience, and somebody's literally trying to take your crown?
I've thought about that. That because I'm sure one day it will probably
They're
happen.
probably watching now.
Probably watching now. I like to think that we can see the sport develop over the next 5-10 years. It's such a way where it's not just promoters going at each other all the time. The sport's big enough to succeed, and more people to succeed in it, without a doubt. And if anyone wants to do this,
Yeah.
they better know what they're doing. They better work every single day, sacrifice everything, because you've got to. And I welcome anyone with that sort of vision and that drive and that dream, because I know how difficult it is, and I hope I'll still have the same perspective, as you said, in 30 or 40 years as I do now. I'm not a jealous person, and I love working in boxing, and I think it can do so much better. And yeah, fingers crossed there are more people that want to be promoters, because there's not many people that want to be promoters, for obvious reasons. So yeah, fingers crossed more people do want to come through.
And finally, before I let you go, before I let you have food, before I get some food, is Joshua Buatsi coming to BoxRec? And the only reason why I ask is because I know that he's kind of like out of deal. There's all sorts of speculation going on, and fair enough, you might not tell me anything, but I'm going to ask the question.
Any promoter would be lucky to have Joshua Buatsi. He's fought once.
You're sounding like a politician now.
Yeah, but he should. But it's true though, isn't it? Like, I think he's not fought enough. He's a fabulous talent. He needs activity, and he needs to move, and he needs to have those big fights. And whether it be, I wish him the best. I genuinely don't know is the answer. I genuinely don't know.
I'm not sure if I believe that, but it's
at the moment, I don't know.
Would he be a fighter that you're interested in, though?
Of course, if for the right money, with the right plan, of course. But sometimes it doesn't all add up. Sometimes it does.
And on that note, we will leave it. Thank you so much for your time, Ben. Appreciated very much, and I shall see you fight night. Hi, and thank you for watching October Red Boxing. Like, subscribe, and tap the bell for notifications. You can also find us on Instagram at October Red Boxing, and on Twitter, October Red UK. And remember, at October Red, we stay ready.